Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Fragrance Speedrunning, this time with the house of Masque Milano. If you are new here, my name is Max, and today we're going to be sampling a brand new fragrance house, at least to me. Never tried anything from the house of Masque Milano. It's always been a brand that has circled around me. I've heard of them. I've seen some of the perfumers work with them, make things like Tango and Russian tea. So yeah, I've never really bothered to sample them until now. I know absolutely nothing about any of these fragrances. And fragrance speedrunning is going to be just that. This is going to be a sample-based first impressions video, very initial impression style. And yeah, we're just going to go through 6 fragrances I have for you today. So I have samples of Montecristo, Tango, Russian Tea Oud, Hemingway, and there's one more, I believe. Yes, Sleight of Fern. So, interesting fragrance names. A little background on the house of Masque Milano. Obviously, this is a house that is hailing from Italy. They seem to have a narrative or storytelling aspect when I went on the website. We'll have to see if I can pick out any of that narrative aspect as I smell these perfumes. But without further ado, let's start smelling some stuff. If you enjoy this content, if you want to see more, I have many things in the pipeline on this channel. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and I think we'll smell Montecristo first. So the name Montecristo is interesting. I seem to recall Montecristo being some sort of like cigar brand, or maybe it's a type of cigar. I don't really smoke, so I don't know, but I recognize that name. So 2 sprays in this test strip. Let's see what Montecristo is all about. Let's see if it has anything to do with tobacco or smoking or cigars at all. Yeah, okay, so right off the bat, this is coming off as smoked. It's coming off as pretty dark and also pretty textured in a dry way. It's giving like shades of dark brown, also a bit of a coffee nuance to me. It's not as dense as I thought it would be. It is this smoked coffee, very brown, dark smell, dry, smoky. It's not immediately making me think of like anything cigar related, but again, I don't really smoke, so maybe this could smell identical to a cigar. I'm really not sure. I do get some tobacco in here as well. It isn't your sweet, more gourmand leaning cherry pipe tobacco. This is definitely going for more of that realistic, leafy, maybe even damp tobacco. It's slightly green, and yeah, overall, this is coming off to me as something that really wants to come across as very realistic and very authentic. Maybe trying to trigger memories of, your grandfather smoking a cigar or something like that, or maybe a cigar lounge. I can picture, the leather chairs and the ashtrays. You're in a beautiful wooden cabinetry room with shotguns and stuff. I don't really think I like this very much. It is coming across as a little bit muddy and kind of sloppy to me. It's also flat, at least on strip, but of course these are just first impressions off of strip. They're not on skin. I don't have enough skin room to do 6 samples on right now, so yeah, Montecristo based off first impressions. I'm gonna give this probably a 6.5 or a 7 just to start the video off. I like it, but I do think I prefer other tobacco/smoky things a little bit more. All right, moving on to the second fragrance. This is Tango. I seem to remember Tango being perfumed by Cecile Zarokian off the top of my head. So I'm kind of expecting big things because she's a big perfumer in terms of her style, at least from the things that I've tried from her. I'm not sure if this is a recent release or like a release that's a little older from her. Tango. So what do I want from this? I want something that feels like a tango. Tango's a type of dance. I want something fun. I want something lively. I want something maybe in motion. I want a transitioning scent. Yeah, let's just see. Okay. It's ambery, like an ambery. There's something sharp in the top immediately. Something spicy. Could be like cumin. Cumin, I love cumin as a note. I love Overture Man. It's one of my favorite fragrances of all time. So I'm pretty dialed into detecting cumin at this point. There's also something resinous, and there's a sharpness which I can't really identify right now. It's thinner than I thought it would be, to be honest, from a Cecile. This amber isn't coming across as anything like Grand Soir. It's coming across as more of an abstract amber. It's not as vanillic as some ambers. There is that sort of, amber accord thing going on with the vanilla and benzoin, but it's more of a softer amber, at least on strip. It does have this roundness to it. It is very nice. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of ambers, to be honest with you. I think a lot of them can smell very similar with just minor differences. There is also maybe some sort of sharp green element. Maybe it reminds me of maybe something like Bailey from Ambre Sultan. I'm not sure if there's a green element in here, but there is some sort of distinct sharpness in the top of this. It could be the cumin. Again, I haven't looked at the notes, so I don't even know if there's cumin in this, but I would be surprised. The cumin doesn't come across as like BO or anything like that. It just has that sort of spicy, slightly culinary, slightly sharp spice edge. So yeah, Tango, it's a spicy amber, slightly sweet. I'm going to give this probably about a 7. I'm not really blown away, to be honest with you. So yeah, Tango. I know this is probably one of the more popular ones from the brand. I remember briefly looking on Fragrantica when I was ordering these samples, and I just sorted like by popular, and this one was one of the top ones. So yeah, I guess people really enjoy it. I'm going to give it about a 7 though. All right, next up is a fragrance called Sleight of Fern. Fern in the name immediately makes me wonder if this is a fougere. I love fougères, all types of fougères, oriental fougere, aromatic fougere, barbershop sort of thing. Love all things fougères. I'm not really sure what type of fougere this is going to be. The name isn't really giving me any clues. Sleight of Fern? Maybe it's only slightly a fougere. I don't know. Let's see. Very sharp, crisp up top. Very sharp, crispy, like green, foresty feel. Like there's something woody. Yeah, absolutely something woody in this. I can't tell if it's cedar or like cypress or something. I don't know. But there's a distinct, sharp, crispy green woody feel with maybe some rounded citruses in the top just to give it some brightness. There's a slight herbal touch. Maybe that's lavender. This isn't coming off to me as like super lavender forward, at least initially. This is more of like an aromatic, woody sort of fougere. Big, almost like freshly cut wood smell. Very sharp, very almost dry. It's nice. It doesn't really wow me. This is more of something that would be considered like a daily wear. Pretty inoffensive in my opinion. The name does absolutely nothing for me. It doesn't really give me, it doesn't evoke anything. It's not a very evocative smell. Outside of that crisp green woodiness. I like it. It's okay. I think this is gonna have to be another 7. So far, these fragrances aren't exactly like blowing me away, but coming up are 2 that I'm pretty hopeful for. The Russian Tea, that's definitely, that's pretty much the reason I wanted to sample this brand. Moving on, next we're going to do the 2 different Russian tea fragrances together. So I have a sample of just the normal Russian tea, and then there's one called Russian Tea Oud. So there aren't many Tea Oud fragrances I'm aware of, so that's going to be really interesting. But first, just the original Russian tea. Let's see what this is all about. It's definitely a tea fragrance, but there's like it's fruity. There's a fruitiness in the top, which I was not expecting at all. Yeah, it's coming across as like a berry, but it's like a watercolor. It's like a Jean-Claude Elena berry, if that makes sense. You know, Jean-Claude Elena's very sort of transparent, watery style. It's like that, but if he were to render something like a strawberry or a raspberry or a blueberry, the tea is it's very present. I would say this is more of like a green tea initially. It's very polite. It's airy. It's got that green element to it. It's calming smelling. I wouldn't say it's very smoky at all. Like some tea fragrances can get, like Tea for Two by L'Artisan Parfumeur. Yeah, right now I would say it's kind of a fruity, fresh, calming green tea sort of thing. It makes me wonder what they're going to do with the Russian Tea Oud. Maybe they'll just go all out and do some massive fruity Tea Oud. Let's find out. But first, for the original, at least initial impressions off of strip. This isn't wowing me, to be honest with you. I do own better tea fragrances than this, in my opinion. Chris Collins' African Rooibos is phenomenal, and I also own Guerlain Neroli Autre Noir. And I would also put Edith, or Edit, parentheses H, from Japan. They have a fragrance called Earl Grey. I would put that tea fragrance above this as well. It's very nice, though. I could see someone really enjoying this, but to be honest, this feels like it needs skin. So this is a candidate for skin later in the video. I'm going to give this a 7.5. Let's try the Oud tea. All right, Russian Tea Oud. I want them to use the Oud to pump up the smokiness. I want a smoky Oud in this. So let's see what they did. Oh, I'm almost certain I can smell amberwoods. Almost positive. That distinct metallic screechiness. I almost got that immediately. So, but then again, it could be some sort of skanky oud edge. It dried down a little bit, and I'm picking up this slightly medicinal, slightly sharp and pungent oud, I would say. The fruitiness is still there, so it's the same fruitiness with this pungent, slightly medicinal oud. But I can't shake the amberwoods. I'm pretty certain I smelled amberwoods in this. It has this metallic underlying aspect. And unfortunately, to my nose right now, the tea is completely gone. This is the original tea fragrance. Let's just see if I can reference it. Okay. And this is the oud. It's not as dense as I thought it would be. Typically, I associate oud fragrances with being pretty dense and pretty heavy. This is coming across as fairly surprisingly light. But yeah, I have to be honest, this is not my favorite. I actually think it's a downgrade from the original. I don't see why you would go for this, especially considering retail. I looked on their website. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Russian Tea Oud goes for a staggering $600+ USD retail. So under no circumstances is this ever worth it at all. I don't care if they're using the most quality products known to man. This is not worth it to me at all. I'm gonna have to give this. I'm unfortunately gonna have to give this about a 4. I really think this is a total downgrade from the original. In the original, it was good, but it wasn't wowing me already. All right, last and hopefully not least, this is Hemingway. I seem to remember one of my favorite fragrance YouTubers, Rich Mitch, talk about this fragrance a couple times. I believe this is a vetiver, and from my recollection, this also uses 3 different vetiver oils. So I think he mentioned Haitian vetiver and Javan vetiver, and maybe there's another one. So I expect a vetiver heavy vetiver fragrance. I expect something that's earthy, woody, damp, muddy even, like you're in the ground sort of vetiver. Almost stringy in a woody way, if that makes sense. So let's see. Yes. Everything I just said. Woody, it's got that very particular vetiver nuttiness that you can get from it sometime. It's earthy, it's damp, it feels soaking wet to me. Like wet wood left out, you know, just in the wilderness. I'm in the soil right now. This is a very vetiver heavy vetiver fragrance. So this does come across as a natural, earthy, damp, wet vetiver. It's very particular. You have to love vetiver to enjoy this. Unfortunately, I'm not a vetiver lover. I can respect it as a quality fragrance, so I'm gonna have to give this a 7, much like I gave the other fragrances. So overall, Masque Milano, we did the speed running. We speed ran all of these. I'm kind of not tempted to put any of these on skin. I'm not too impressed. I got some narrative elements and some evocative elements from some of them, namely Montecristo. But maybe that was only from the name. If I'm being honest with you, I am a little bit disappointed. I wanted to like these a little bit more, and they just didn't give me what I was anticipating. They also don't smell Italian to me, like, at all. Obviously, you know, a brand based in Italy doesn't have to have a particular Italian style, but I associate Italian perfumes with maybe a little more expressiveness, you know, brands like Xerjoff, brands like Maio Fusciuni, brands like Acqua di Parma, you know, these brands are they're very happy, and they're very expressive. They're sad when they want to be, they're happy when they want to be, they're melancholic when they want to be. And I think they're some of the best houses at conveying that. This is sort of not giving me that at all. So Masque Milano, I don't think I'll be procuring any of these fragrances, which, I mean, I'm totally fine with that. Fragrances are too expensive anyway. So yeah, that's been speed running on Masque Milano. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and let me know if you've tried any of these in my comment section. I always reply to every single comment. I love opening the conversation with you guys, as Daniel from Seldomly Often says. And I'll see you guys in the next video.